Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Squid Pent playing in the Andrea Doria, one of the new release Italian battleships. So what makes the Italian battleships different? Well, they've got semi-armor piercing shells and they've got armor piercing shells. They do not have HE, so they don't have the ability to start fires unless they get close enough to use secondaries, and then I suppose there's some chance for fires that way. Why is that important? Well, one of the ways that low-tier battleships can pick up damage is by setting fires. They have generally a pretty decent chance of setting fires, and until you get into higher-tier ships, there's not a whole lot of resistance to fires. You know, as you go up in the tiers, ships become increasingly more difficult to set on fire. So in the low and mid tiers, sometimes that's your best chance for starting fires, especially if you're playing a Royal Navy battleship. SAP, the semi-armor piercing shells, on the other hand, while they do not start fires, they do a significant amount of damage even against angled targets. So ships that, let's just say for example you had AP loaded and a battleship angled into you, you would kind of be forced to fire into their superstructure or into their deck on the nose in the hope of getting a penetration that way. You're generally speaking, I mean there are exceptions, but generally speaking you're not going to do a whole lot of damage that way. You can do damage, but you're not going to do a whole lot. With semi-armor piercing shells, they arm in a different way, and you're able to do a lot more damage against angled opponents. You're also able to do a lot more damage against destroyers, because while you generally would get overpins when you fire AP at a destroyer, when you fire semi-armor piercing, shells will load and cause big damage. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're playing your Italian battleship, you want to get close and brawl with destroyers. I think that in general that's a bad idea, but it does mean that if you spot a DD, if you're able to hit them with your SAP shells, you're probably going to do significant damage. Now, having said that, I still think if you're in a battleship and you see an enemy destroyer, and it's within range and you have a shot, you take the shot. Yeah, maybe you could farm a little extra damage on that cruiser or battleship that you're looking at, but taking out enemy destroyers is almost always the best tactical choice, if that's an option. Now our hill is YOLOing in, and he's not going to stay alive long, that's obvious. Squid has decided to sit back quite a ways. Now, I'm not sure whether that's due to concern about all the aircraft. You'll probably notice that you've got 4 CVs in the game. But that's my guess. He doesn't want to get focused by aircraft and surface ships with all their guns. Dispersion is not kind. That first volley. A little bit of damage, and that's what I was talking about a minute ago. You can do some damage even against an angled battleship with the SAP. Ranger looks like he might intend to drop. Nope. Ranger's going to go after the Iron Duke. There's an enemy DD out there. And it looks like Squid is going to try and get a shot off, but the reload being another 16 seconds, I think that DD is going to get around the corner and go unseen before he can do that. So we have to count on the CV to do the job. Yep. No way to get the shot off now. So we got to count on the Ranger to do the job. And he does not seem to... Well, I guess if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I don't always honor that truism, but I am in this case. Squid's still looking for a shot, but it doesn't look like it's going to come available. Poop Magoo in the Iron Duke out there. He's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. He's got the Acosta that will almost certainly be dropping torpedoes now. Iron Duke finishes him off. Yeah, so he had the Acasta on one side and he had enemy CV aircraft on the other side. So Iron Duke did take a little damage there, and let's hope he can avoid the torpedoes from the Acasta. Meanwhile, Squid Pent repositioning. Each team now down 2 ships. Both teams have lost a cruiser and a destroyer. And if there's any single lesson we can learn from this game thus far, it's that, Acasta's torps do land on the Iron Duke and finish him off. It's that pushing in real early in a game where CVs are in play, when you're playing a destroyer, is generally just a glorified YOLO rush, no matter how good you may be. New Mexico's getting dropped. New Mexico has, well, what has good AA anymore? Holland, maybe? But, for what it is, New Mexico has decent AA. At this range, the dispersion and sigma of Andrea Doria being what it is, it's going to be really hard to land shells on a destroyer, but you can see that Squid Pent is trying. Now, I haven't watched this game. This is the first time through for me too, so I don't know whether he lands anything or not, but if he does, let's take a look at the damage. No. Dispersion trolls again. Ranger smacked the Nicholas pretty good. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Cavo. Just as he pulls the trigger, Trento becomes visible. Oh, that's painful. Those shells probably would have done a lot more damage on the Trento. Nicholas is back up. Squid Pent is changing his focus. He wants to try and finish off that Nicholas in case the CV isn't able to. But looks like Nicholas is burning, and down he goes. Taking a little bit of chip damage here. Trento looks like he's reversing. Hopefully these shells will land. Torpedoes are going to be inbound here. Nice. So you see there, SAP was loaded, Citadel'd the Trento. Trento was angled. Now Trento doesn't have much in the way of armor. That's a certainty, but you can see that SAP can do some Citadel damage. That was a pretty significant shot. So 7.5 minutes in, Squid Pent has managed to land a Citadel. He shot down 9 planes and counting. Hasn't done a whole lot of damage, but you can see he's got almost 750,000 potential damage at this point, now over that. So his position has not been entirely without threat. Good guys take a 1-ship lead as the October Revolution finishes off the enemy Ismail. Squid Pent stays angled to the battleships that are directly south of his position and lines up his guns for a shot on the Congo. Congo's having to deal with strikes from 2 friendly Rangers. Will they land any? Yeah, they did. Squid is sitting pretty much broadside to the Congo. At eastern angle now. That'll help a little bit. Swing that nose around. You can see the indicator there just below the aiming reticule. Well, fortunately, the Congo decides to fire at the New Mexico, who is showing much more broadside. I might have switched to AP here, but it doesn't matter. New Mexico finishes him off. Good guys have only lost 3 ships, bad guys have lost 5. Good guys are up by 175 points. And the good guys are making a big push over on the other side of the map. 2 and 3 line, where they're at presently. I imagine they're going to start moving center. Got our Matsuki chasing the Ryujo. And here's an opportunity for a broadside shot on the Ismail, but it looks like he's stopping. He's going to start heading forward. Yeah, the friendly CVs are working well together. It's making it very tough on the bad guys. Trento finishes off the friendly Matsuki. Matsuki got awfully close. Good guys are now down 4 ships, bad guys down 5. Still anybody's game. Good guys are up by 100 points. Broadside shot on New Mexico with the SAP shells. We'll see what that does. Yeah, a little bit of damage. That's certainly respectable. And Squid is opting to maintain his position here. I think I would probably have been pushing up to get a little bit closer. There are some broadside opportunities as the enemy team moves away from the 3-ship push that is on the south side of the map. But the current position isn't going to provide many shots because of the islands. See, the friendly Fuso and New Mexico are in a position to be able to get shells on the Cabor. And the friendly CVs just continue to do their job. Just too many islands in the way to be able to get out too many shots here. So, in terms of positioning, I think I'd probably be a square and a half south of here to be able to get off more shots. And it's possible that Squid was just testing out the SAP here. I probably would have switched to AP and been looking for these broadsides at closer range, but I don't mean that as a criticism. You know, these ships are new to all of us, and this might have been more of a let's see what SAP can do at various ranges against various targets. So Fuso and New Mexico are going to go all the way around the islands out there, kind of taking themselves out of the game. Let's hope that the enemy battleships do the same thing. So in the center right now, all there is to contend with really is the Trento and the New Mexico. Of course, if the CVs focus you, they can do that anywhere. But in terms of gunfire, New Mexico and Trento, and they're pretty occupied with the October Revolution. And you can see the friendly Cabor is he's in a position now to be able to get broadsides, and he's going to be able to get the broadside of that New Mexico here in about, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds, something like that. So we might see the New Mexico finished, and we might see the Trento finished. They might just decide to finish off the Trento because he is so low on HP. Good guys are up now by 200 points, and that lead is about to expand. Somebody needs to finish the Trento. Those torps on the Trento, although they're slow, they have decent range, and they can definitely wreck a battleship. Okay, Cabor finishes off the Trento. Bad guys are down to 5 ships. Squid Pen puts shells out on New Mexico. Might catch the tail end. Yeah, 5,800 damage. That's nothing to sneeze at.
La nostra squadra è in vantaggio.
And at this point, the good guys have got pretty decent positioning in the south. You've got a battleship at Foxtrot 7 at this point. That's getting a lot of broadside opportunities. Our New Mexico and Fuso on the good guys team are, well, I'm not crazy about the positioning, but it does create some opportunities for the other guys. And Ranger's about to go down here. Hopefully Squid Pen will get to finish him off before somebody else does. Looks like his shells are going to get there first. And down one Ranger. Nice shot.
La portaerei nemica sta colando a picco.
Enemy New Mexico is just about dead. I imagine the Cabor is going to finish him if the CV doesn't. CV's about to drop him with bombs. And that's probably going to do the trick. We'll see. October Revolution gets the privilege of finishing off the New Mexico. Bad guys are down to 2 ships. And this is all over but the shouting. Good guys are in the enemy cap. It's an enemy CV and an enemy battleship is all that remains. This is really just a mop-up operation at this point. Friendly CVs, I think, did a pretty darn good job. It's rare to see that kind of cooperation. Squid's position center allowed him to tank quite a bit. You can see he's a little over 800,000 potential damage. He was able to make some good shots. Did land a citadel, did finish off a CD, and he continues to push south into the cap. Devonshire might go down if the enemy CV drops it again. Might keep him in the game a little bit longer. But there's really no way for the bad guys to make a comeback here. I would I think I could confidently say that it would be impossible, even in World of Warships. Enemy CV is dropping the Cabor. And the aircraft is working again. That's 10 planes now. Might finish off the Ismail. I think he probably will. Oh, so close. October Revolution gets the kill. Well, just the Ryujo. That's all that's left, and he's going to be dead here very shortly. So I will say thank you very much, Squidpen, for sending in the replay. I appreciate it. It was good to see one of these ships in action. Nicely done. Tanked quite a bit of damage, landed some good shots, and here you are in the cap at the end of the game. Way to go. Those of you watching, thank you very much for joining me. Please like and subscribe. If you have questions or comments, I'd love to see them in the comment area below. And I'll see you next time.